Freedom or jail, the prison of the heart, and the liberty of the soul. The illusion of freedom. Many walk this earth proudly declaring, "I am free." No shackles bind their wrists, no guard stands at their door, and no judge has sentenced them to a cell. They come and go as they please, laugh when they want, buy what they desire, and chase whatever their hearts crave. To the eye, they are the picture of freedom. But freedom isn't measured by how far your feet can travel. It is measured by the condition of your soul. Some of the most imprisoned people breathe fresh air every day. A man may sleep in a warm bed every night, yet toss and turn because his mind is tormented. Another may sit behind bars and find peace because his heart has finally been set free. There are prisons without barbed wire, invisible cages that follow a person everywhere they go. If alcohol dictates your joy, if a bottle controls your peace, you are not free. You are bound. You wake up not thinking of purpose, hope, or growth, but of the next drink. Your body walks freely, but your soul is chained to a cycle that won't let you go. If drugs have become your escape, they are also your prison guard. Even in a tent with no walls, your mind is locked in a cell of desperation, eyes scanning every shadow, not for opportunity, but for the next fix. That is not freedom, that is captivity. If greed sits on the throne of your heart, you might wear a suit, sign contracts, and gain wealth, but you will step over people, manipulate, and deceive just to feed the hunger inside. You may win the world's respect, yet lose your soul in the process. A dishonest contract that benefits you may fill your wallet, but empties your character. That is not success. That is slavery in disguise. If lust drives your thoughts, if anger controls your reactions, if hatred dictates who is worthy of your compassion, then you are not the master of your life. You are being mastered. These chains do not rattle, but they choke. A man can live in the largest mansion, surrounded by luxury, with servants at his call, and still pace the halls like a caged animal, because his heart is not at rest. Yet another can sleep on a simple mattress, eat a modest meal, and walk in true liberty, because his heart is clean, his conscience is clear, and his soul is at peace. True freedom is not the ability to indulge every desire. It is the strength to walk away from the desires that destroy you. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is having the power to choose what is right. Some people sit in prison cells and experience a freedom they never had outside, and some walk the world with a soul, serving a life sentence. The cruelest prison is the one that convinces you you're free. Real freedom is found in a heart that is healed, a mind that is renewed, and a soul that chooses love over hate, truth over lies, and integrity over gain. The world teaches us that freedom is the ability to choose without limit. But that kind of freedom leads many into chains they never recognize until it's too late. Freedom is not the absence of restraint. It is the presence of purpose, peace, and inner truth. The chains of addiction. The prison of self. In the last days, we are living in a time when chains are celebrated, not shattered, where bondage is renamed as freedom, and sin is dressed up to look like self-expression. The Bible warned us this day would come. In the last days, people will be lovers of themselves, and today, that prophecy unfolds in front of our eyes. People are no longer ashamed of sin. They advertise it, defend it, and demand to be applauded for it. We live in a generation obsessed with self-love, self-pleasure, self-promotion, self-approval. The world teaches, do what makes you happy, yet never asks whether what makes you happy is slowly killing you. The grip of porn doesn't come as a chain. It comes as a temptation. It promises excitement, escape, pleasure, and no harm. But once it sinks its hooks into the mind, it enslaves the heart. It rewires thoughts, poisons intimacy, and turns people into objects rather than souls. It strips the ability to love purely, replacing connection with consumption. You don't need a prison cell to be captive. A screen can do the same. What begins as curiosity becomes craving. What feels harmless becomes uncontrollable. Shame becomes a constant companion, hiding behind closed doors, in the dark, in the silence of night. Porn doesn't just contaminate the eyes. It corrupts the heart. It kills love, distorts identity, and breaks the spirit from the inside out. Many walk around breathing, laughing, working, but spiritually bleeding from wounds no one can see. The worship of self-obsession has become the new religion. People worship their image, their comfort, their desires, and sacrifice integrity, family, morality, and even God upon the altar of self. We scroll past suffering because it's not our problem. We reject truth if it challenges us. We avoid accountability because we idolize comfort. Compassion is fading. Humility is mocked. Honor is rare. People chase their own happiness with little regard for the damage left behind. We are a culture drowning in selfishness while starving for love. A world growing colder. The Bible said that in the last days, love will grow cold. And hasn't it? People betray, ghost, abandon, and cheat with ease. Marriage vows break like paper. Friendships are disposable. Commitment feels outdated. We are more connected than any generation before, yet lonelier than ever. When the heart becomes numb, sin feels normal. When self becomes God, people lose the ability to truly love, to sacrifice, to care. The ugliest chain, pride is the root of every sin that enslaves humanity today. It whispers, I don't need help. I am not wrong. I'll do life my way. But pride blinds a person from seeing they are falling until they've fallen so deep they no longer know who they are. The prison of anger, hatred, and unforgiveness. Some prisons are built from addictions of the flesh, but others are built in the heart, where no one can see the bars yet they destroy everything within. Among the most destructive chains of our time are anger, hatred, and unforgiveness. These chains don't shatter your body. They slowly suffocate your soul. The slow death of anger is often born from pain, betrayal, disappointment, or injustice, but if left unhealed, it becomes poison. A person ruled by anger may look powerful, even fearless, but inside they are fragile and bleeding. Anger promises strength, but delivers bitterness. It gives a voice to wounds, but never brings healing. It begins as a spark, but if fed, it becomes a wildfire that burns everything: relationships, trust, joy, and peace. A heart filled with anger cannot rest. Even silence becomes loud. Even kindness feels suspicious. The world becomes an enemy, and everyone is a threat. Some people call their anger protection, but it is really a prison. It keeps everyone out, including the people who want to love you, and eventually traps you inside your own hurt. Anger does not guard your heart, it chains it. Hatred. The coldest cell of all hatred is anger that has hardened. It doesn't shout, it freezes, it numbs compassion, kills empathy, and blinds the eyes to humanity. Hatred turns hearts into stone and builds walls where bridges should be. It convinces a person that someone no longer deserves mercy, forgiveness, or redemption. It feeds on pain until pain becomes identity. A hateful heart cannot feel joy, only a momentary satisfaction when others suffer. But even that satisfaction fades, leaving emptiness, loneliness, and spiritual decay. Hatred is a darkness that grows quietly. It takes root in silence. It makes a home where love once lived and evicts peace from the soul. It is a slow spiritual death, and the person carrying it often doesn't realize they are dying. The unforgiveness trap. Unforgiveness is one of the most deceptive prisons because it feels justified. Someone hurt you, betrayed you, abandoned you, lied to you, or shattered your trust, so you cling to the pain as if letting go would excuse the wrong done against you. But unforgiveness doesn't punish the offender. It punishes the one who carries it. Unforgiveness is drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It chains the heart to a moment in time that can never be changed. It forces you to relive the hurt again and again, long after the wound was inflicted. It becomes a replay button for trauma, a lock that freezes your growth, and a shadow that follows your future. People think forgiveness is weakness, but it is one of the greatest acts of strength a soul can choose. Forgiveness is not saying, "It didn't matter." It is saying, "I refuse to let this destroy me any longer." Unforgiveness steals your ability to love deeply, trust fully, or live freely. It turns your heart into a battlefield where the war never ends. Anger burns the heart. Hatred freezes it. Unforgiveness chains it. Anger burns the heart. Hatred freezes it. Unforgiveness chains it. Together, they form a prison that feels justified, yet destroys the prisoner from the inside out. And in today's world, these chains are worn proudly, as if hardness is strength and compassion is weakness. But a hardened heart is not a strong one. It is a wounded one that never healed. People today are not free. They are chained to themselves. And there is no prison more suffocating. Because when self becomes the master, the soul becomes the slave. The right path. True freedom through righteousness. Doing the right thing is not bondage. It's the highest form of freedom. When you live honestly, forgive quickly, and obey what is good, your conscience is at rest. You sleep in peace. You walk without fear. You owe no debt to guilt or shame. The Torah, the commandments of God, were not given to trap humanity, but to set it free. Every law, every instruction, is a safeguard against self-destruction. Do not steal. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not covet. These are not restrictions. They are fences keeping your soul from falling into pits of ruin. Even in today's modern world, the same principle stands. Break these moral laws, and you will find yourself in prison, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. The system of justice in this world mirrors the divine one. Murderers, thieves, and liars face consequences because their actions destroy freedom, their own and others. Real jail is not full of saints or keepers of good morals. It is a reflection of what happens when society throws away God's commandments. The walls of prison are built by rebellion against truth. Inside, you see what life becomes when self-will replaces divine order. Yet even there, a soul that repents can find freedom greater than the one who walks outside unrepentant. The Torah is not a book of rules meant to limit. It is a map for liberation. It teaches self-control, justice, mercy, love, and truth. Those who live by it walk in harmony with their Creator and their neighbor. When you live within these laws, you do not fear judgment, because you are aligned with righteousness. Just as obeying the laws of nature, like gravity or fire, keeps you safe, obeying the spiritual laws of the Torah keeps your soul intact. The commandments are spiritual gravity. Defy them, and you fall. In this life, the Torah keeps you from spiritual imprisonment. In the next, it becomes your testimony. When you stand in judgment, the Torah will speak of how you lived, whether you sought truth or corruption. And the Messiah, Yeshua, stands as your advocate, your defender, your attorney before the highest court. He does not excuse sin, but redeems the repentant. Through him, mercy is granted, not because the law is erased, but because justice and grace meet perfectly. To live under his guidance is to walk in true freedom, the freedom from sin, guilt, and eternal separation. Freedom, without boundaries, is chaos. Law without mercy is tyranny. But the Torah, with the Messiah, is perfect balance. It gives structure and love, justice and compassion. The world may call law restriction, but heaven calls it liberation. The world may call sin freedom, but heaven calls it slavery. Choose your master, the cravings of the flesh, or the peace of righteousness. For in the end, freedom is not the absence of walls, but the presence of truth within your heart. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. Freedom by obedience.